Welcome to another Crossbody of Work Minisode. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week, we are fresh off of Survivor Series WarGames here in 2023. So we are looking at the first time WarGames entered the WWE Universe, NXT TakeOver WarGames 2017, specifically the WarGames match.
WarGames.
It's all about William Regal saying WarGames, and Adam Pearce he's trying.
It was really good this year, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Did a very good job of it this year. But, I mean, Regal might be back next year.
I hope
By
so.
this time next year, he'll be free to be on TV, according to stuff, because I guess it was like a year non-compete. But
it's a long non-compete.
Yeah, well, he's valuable, man. What do you want me to tell you?
That's true.
Well, it's non-compete as in, like, he could still be doing stuff for WWE,
but
not
he can't
on
be
camera.
on TV.
Yeah.
That's fair. So the first NXT WarGames match was different than what the WarGames matches look like now, because WarGames matches now are 5-a-side, two teams going up against each other. This one is a 3v3v3,
which I kind of like.
It's definitely different. I think it leads to a little bit of a different formula in terms of like the entrances, in terms of the locks of the cages and things like that. And having like two guys get released at once definitely changes what it looks like. Because in the typical one, the heels always get the advantage, and then it's just heels beat down the baby faces. New baby face comes in, fire spot for like a minute or two. The heels get the numbers advantage. Keeps going like that.
Yeah,
this is different.
And then eventually it goes down. Everyone's in the ring. They fight for like 5 minutes, and then the finish happens.
Yes. This one's a little different. So we've got the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, not Roderick Strong, not yet. Roddy Strong is teaming with the Authors of Pain and is in full Authors of Pain cosplay.
The full combat armor is hilarious.
He's looking like an extra in the Soldier music video by Destiny's Child. It's outstanding. Look at me and tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. So it's AOP and Roddy, and they're also going up against Sanity, which is Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf. As I mentioned, Strong has not joined Undisputed Era, obviously. That's at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which is the WrestleMania one. And he turns on Pete Dunne in that tag match. Sad.
Everyone turns on Pete Dunne, man. Rich Holland just turned on him.
Rich Holland just left him, which is sad.
And then Bobby Lashley had the audacity to put his hand up to his face and be like, "Talk to me when you've done something, kid." Fuck you, Bobby Lashley.
I like you going to bat for Pete. What are your thoughts on Sanity?
I love Sanity, man. I loved everything about Sanity. I believe they were the champs at the NXT live event that happened at UMass Amherst while I was there. That I attended, and I want to say it was them against DIY. No, it couldn't have been. But
that'd be a good combo. But
no, it was a hell of a match. It was cool seeing them. They were so freaking cool. Nikki Cross came out with them as well. It was just a good time all around. Alexander Wolf is such a special talent when you just like kind of let him go. And you see it in moments in this match, which we'll get to eventually. But he's just fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I love everything about that. And like Eric Young plays a great crazy man, and Big Damo doesn't even have to act. He's just big and he's burly, and that's all that he needs to be.
This match is a love note to Killian Dane, aka Big Damo, and how I want him to be pushed to the moon and everything. But we'll get to that in a minute. So obviously we start with one member from each team. The way that it works is after 5 minutes, a whole group will be allowed to leave their cage. So two different guys from the same team will join in. So someone will get a 3-on-1-on-1 advantage at the very beginning. If you know anything about the Undisputed Era, you can assume that they're the ones who are going to come in first.
Yeah.
You got to pick one person to start with each team. So obviously it's the leaders. It's Adam Cole, it's Roddy Strong, and it's Eric Young.
Love it. Love the mix.
If you're starting a company, fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, Adam Cole's the obvious fuck, or the marry.
Yeah, long term. Yeah.
I mean, I'm fucking Roddy.
Yeah.
But although his neck game's a little weak, and I'm killing EY because throat game is a little too strong.
Oh my god. Well, that's the same order I had, so we're all set. This match starts pretty good. It's pretty competitive at the beginning. It's everyone wants to beat the crap out of Adam Cole because that's how this is happening. Is Undisputed Era is causing a ruckus in NXT, and both Sanity and Roddy want to get their hands on Adam Cole.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It's like, at what point in life does someone not want to? Like, MJF is literally the first person to ever not want to beat up Adam Cole.
Britt Baker. That's it. It's just Britt Baker and MJF, and that's it.
She probably does beat him up. She just also goes home with him.
Yeah, she just beats the shit out of him. In terms of moves at the beginning, you know, Cole with the advantage, taking out both men. He's kind of alternating between rings because, of course, WarGames match means 2 rings. Cole with a nice set of swinging neck breakers. Strong gets some shiny chops and running knees, and then we get the first team to be released from the cage, and obviously it's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Which is I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't know. I feel like the heels should be last. They just should be.
Really?
I am not someone who's like, oh, it's always fun when the heels have the advantage. Because you know what? You know what's really cool is when it's like a 2-on-1 like beat down on the heel, and then the heel just grabs a chair and starts laying or hits a low blow on one of them and starts messing up the other. It's like they use heel tactics to get the advantage, and then at the end you leave the big guy for the last, and then when he comes in last and messes up all the baby faces, it's easier to win the match.
Okay, so I see the way you're kind of framing it. I think it's just easier to have it be like, oh, look at these baby faces. They're the numbers. Like the numbers are the easiest thing to see in terms of like a disadvantage, right? Because even if a heel is outnumbered, if they have a chair, people are still like, well, there's still 2 of them and 1 of you. Like you'd have to be a devastating. You'd have to be a fucking like top tier heel for people to even consider that you're like in danger.
It's also like really. Like the 3 members of the Undisputed Era are the 3 smallest people in this match.
Yes, definitely.
They're the
smallest people for sure.
It makes sense, I guess, that they would go first, but I still would have rather Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish come in last and just like start beating people with pipes and stuff
and kicking people,
heel things.
Yeah. So Young gets run into the steel cage by all the Undisputed Era members in a row. We get a beautiful wheelbarrow German suplex by Fish to Roddy Strong. It was nice. Throw him into the cage.
Yeah, I love. It's one of those things. Wait, Roddy did it. Was it not Eric Young?
Oh no, it was. There's another one that happens later, but Bobby Fish hits one to Roddy early.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
It's really just a beatdown for 3 minutes. Is that the time in between
5.
people? It's 5. It's a beatdown for Jesus. Did not feel like 5. It's a beatdown for like 5 minutes, and then the sound hits because there's not that much notable stuff that happens in the Undisputed Era advantage side aside from a shit ton of stops. The lights go on the Sanity cage, but it's the Authors of Pain that are coming.
Surprise. Yeah, I goofed.
I don't understand that one.
Like I goofed. Definitely.
Sure.
Do you remember that the Authors of Pain are currently signed to WWE again?
Oh my god.
Do you remember that?
I remember seeing that like 2 months ago or something that came out?
They have been signed for a long time.
It's also like, where do they we have big tag teams currently in this company that are like just not being used. Like Indus-Sher is not being used. We don't need another big tag team that doesn't speak English.
One, Authors of Pain speak English. Okay. It was reported that they were re-signed on August 30th of 2023. So they've been signed since August.
That doesn't make any. What are we doing here?
Oh, sorry. No, they had been re-signed in 2022. And then
they've been signed a year.
They were re-signed before Vince McMahon came back as chairman in January, and were on internal travel lists as early as May 2023. They just haven't shown up yet. What if they show up to beat up their old boss, Seth Rollins?
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, they aligned with CM Punk.
Oh yeah, because CM Punk also. We're recording this on Sunday. CM Punk came back yesterday.
Right. Yeah, that happens. I was not expecting it. I didn't almost fall off of my Peloton or anything like that.
I love that you were on the Peloton when this happened.
You got to get the work in.
It's going to be one of those things your kids ask you, like, Grandpa, where were you when CM Punk came back to WWE? Like, I was on a Peloton. It was a bike that pretended you could go through Central Park.
I really hope that my grandkids do not ask me where I was when CM Punk returned to WWE.
They will. Your kids are going to be marks.
Hope that's not a thing.
You're going to raise
like,
a
I hope
bunch
it's
of marks.
Literally, I would prefer where were you when Randy Orton came back after his back injury? Oh. I was on the Peloton, putting in work, going through some random park in London, when suddenly all I hear is, "I have voices in my head," and the most yoked version of Randy Orton comes out.
I wish, this is the only time I've ever wished the Booker T was on commentary, to just be like, "You're looking real jacked, baby.
You looking jacked, Randy."
That's a terrible Booker T impression.
What are you talking about? He does this whenever he's excited. Ooh, is me on Booker T. I'm excited because for some reason I talk like this when I'm excited.
There's a painter here. Undisputed Era try to keep the door closed, and then Young gets launched in the cage by AOP, which is so mean. Eric Young is on a 3-on-1-on-3 advantage or disadvantage now. Poor guy.
What would you do in that situation?
Hide.
Oh, but where?
On top of the cage.
Is there a trash can in the ring yet?
No.
If I'm anyone that's small enough to fit in a trash can, I'm curling up into a little ball and I'm going in the trash can and I'm like praying that no one sees me.
Strong gets tossed by his teammates onto everybody else in the ring across, which I thought was great. The AOP just toss him over there. AOP then do a pair of fireman carries, aka FUs almost, but they
it's
drive.
Like a DVD.
Death Valley Driver. They drive the people on their backs into people who are in Tree of Woe position.
That the one that I think it was Razor who was on the far side. Mm-hmm. The one that I think he had Cole and he did it to O'Reilly. That was freaking brutal.
Yeah, it was. And AOP's offense can be described as like clubbing blows and throwing things / people at other people. They're just
what would you want them to fucking bust out Hurricane Ranas? Like,
yeah, I want it to be like that time that Big Show and Braun Strowman said to do some catch can wrestling.
Oh my god,
that's one of my favorites. Doing
shit. I don't know. It's like I don't know if Akam or Razor could do a kip up. Not with the freaking battle suit on.
Not when
they look like
fucking
Master Chief over here.
So AOP kind of control everything, and then Sanity's light goes on, and they're allowed out of their cage. Alexander Wolf has a nightstick. He's hitting AOP with the nightstick. Big Damo,
like me and GTA.
Big Damo gets some garbage cans, some chains, some kendo sticks, some chairs.
Big Damo is using this time to play like I play literally any battle royale game. My friends are doing all the work. They're in the gunfights. I'm over here. I'm opening up boxes. I'm getting as much ooh, do I need this SMG ammo or do I need this sniper ammo?
They just need bigger backpacks.
Well, if you're playing oh my god, PUBG, it's fine.
I don't play PUBG.
You could just upgrade the backpack. Just
the Batcat?
The Batcat. Just find a better one.
I think that if you're based on whatever your skin you're using, that should determine how much carrying capacity you have. Like if I have cargo pants, I should be able to carry everything. that should be the rule.
If my back is the size of the Himalayas, I should be allowed to put a RPG in there without any efforts.
Exactly. Damo, the fans are chanting for tables, so Damo just like, you know what? Sure, grabs some tables, brings them into the match.
You guys want.
I love that.
And then he locks the cage.
He locks the cage and proceeds to swallow the key, which is some short-term thinking. Because you're right, Big Damo. People cannot leave the cage now. Which, again, if they did, they would be disqualified from the match. However, how long does it take food to go through you, Mr. Damo?
It depends on the food.
How long a metal key?
That's gonna take a while.
You ever swallow something you're not supposed to?
A gum. I once accidentally, or a couple of times, I've accidentally swallowed gum, but I've never swallowed a solid. I've never taken a like bone chipped down by accident.
Okay, I did know a kid who swallowed a nickel.
Like on purpose?
No, it was not on. When he tells the story, he said it wasn't on purpose.
How do you
But
accidentally swallow a nickel?
I don't know. I
There is
don't.
like zero circumstances in this world where you could accidentally swallow a nickel.
Also, like, don't start with that. Like, there are dimes and pennies. Like, dimes too much money. That's fine. Pennies, 1 cent.
Yeah, but brass? You want to take brass down?
20%. Again, he says it was accidental, which again I don't know
Sure,
how this
man.
happens. Yeah, all right.
Taking a dime down, if anything.
I would have 0 dimes.
We need that dime. It's our draft dime.
That's right. So, Kyle O'Reilly goes for a chair shot. Alexander Wolf dodges. O'Reilly hits the top rope with the chair. It bounces back and hits him in the face. This spot slaps every time.
I love Kyle O'Reilly, man. I miss him. I can't wait for him to come back.
Yeah, this match is a spot fest. Obviously, it's a WarGames match.
It's a WarGames match.
But let's talk about the fun spots. They're a good time.
Oh, Big Damo gets Bobby Fish down. He stands right over him. He grabs Adam Cole. He hits a sit-out Michinoku driver. So he not only drops Adam Cole onto Bobby Fish, he also sits down, does a sit-out, like whatever the fuck that's called, the Rikishi drop.
Yeah.
On Bobby Fish as well. My man got hit with the 2-piece combo.
That's after Dane heads over. He brawls with both Akam and Razor and hits a drop kick to one while sentoning the other. He also does a crossbody off the top rope to take out everybody. Like, this middle spot of the match is just Killian Dane being amazing. And I remember watching this pay-per-view live and walking away being like very justified in my love for Killian Dane, because I had always been like, he's got it.
I don't know where he was when the North American title became a thing, but it should have been him.
He was around that area. He was in that. He was in one of those matches, I think.
I don't know, but he should have been. Screw freaking Lars Sullivan. Can you imagine if Damo was in that inaugural match?
Oh, that'd be a good time.
At one point, I think it was Razor hits a fallaway slam Samoan drop combo on.
Dane was in that match, that inaugural 6. That's what I thought. He was in that ladder match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Yeah.
I don't remember.
That match is kind of cursed.
It's Ricochet, EC3, Velveteen Dream, Cole, Sullivan. And is it just Damo? Is that it? Is that the 6?
Yeah, that's the 6.
I do not remember Damo being in that. That's crazy.
And in that, like, obviously Adam Cole is Adam Cole. He's fine. EC3 flamed out, and that was controlling his narrative. Killian Dane.
He's the NWA champion.
That's good for him. Lars Sullivan. Ricochet. Ricochet is cool. Velveteen Dream.
Remember when we brought Lars Sullivan back a couple years ago?
Did
he like mobbed Jeff Hardy?
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a bad
I only
time.
know that because of that like many returns of WWE account on Twitter.
I love those accounts.
A few days ago.
I love those accounts. I'm going to show you one wonderful account that I found that's not wrestling related, but it's great. Have you heard of Accidental Bronson?
Accidental Bronson? Like accidentally being like Action Bronson?
Yes. People, it's like screen caps of texts or captions or things that accidentally sound like Action Bronson lyrics. For example, I made the Jehovah's Witness watch me do backflips.
I mean, nothing will ever top. They say Bronson fell off like the AIDS on Magic Johnson's dick.
Cooking crack in a traditional Italian brick oven. It's a great account. Shout out to Accidental Bronson. I love gimmick accounts like this.
Speaking of gimmicks, brother, at one point Kyle O'Reilly busts out a chain to break up a pin, then hits a tornado DDT to Razor. They do the chasing the dragon along with an Adam Cole super kick to Roddy. Then Damo decapitates Adam Cole.
It literally turns him inside out. It's so good.
Decapitates the man. Like, that is a finisher on freaking Mortal Kombat.
O'Reilly and Fish chop down Dane with kicks. You get the axe and smash by O'Reilly to Wolf. O'Reilly does a chain-assisted armbar, which is nice. He's literally...
The chain across the face right before that was disgusting, too.
Young breaks up with an elbow drop, and then Fish uses a moonsault to break up Young's pin. Like, just... The action is very fast here, and I like that.
We get a super collider to I think it might be two of the Undisputed Era
Yeah,
guys,
with
and
Dane stuck in the middle because
yeah,
Super
with
Collider is the AOP stereo power bombs where they hit the
yeah,
guys together. They cheers human beings and then power bomb them. And this time they cheers with Damo's head between them.
which is great.
Yeah, great.
Um, Great. EY breaks the pin. EY DVDs Razor onto Akam.
Yep.
And then one of the Undisputed members comes and breaks it up. Roddy just goes on a rampage and just fucking hits backbreakers to everybody.
He also hits an angle slam. He hits an angle slam to Killian Dane. I was like, what the fuck is going
And
on?
Adam Cole like super kicks him to break up the pin.
He has the same moveset right now as like me wrestling in my basement, where I'm like, I can hit an angle slam and a stunner and a hurricane rana.
Who are you hitting this to?
My brother.
Your
I have
older brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I have shouted out when I was really little. My brother and his best friend would like let me do wrestling moves to them too. But I also had to take wrestling moves. I was essentially their Spike Dudley. I would hit the Dudley dog to my brother's best friend all the time, where I would step up onto the desk chair into the desk and then turn and land on the bed. It's the best. It's the best.
I'll never forget one time I called my brother. Shout out Frankie. He's not listening, but shout out. I'll never forget one time I caught him with an RKO, and it pissed him off so bad.
You just a surprise RKO?
Yeah, just like he was like, I don't remember if we had switched rooms at this point or not. But I was young enough that like I was still kind of small enough that I could fit into like tight spaces. And he was like doing something at his like on the edge of his bed, like standing. He might have been like folding laundry or something. I don't know. But like I came through, I like threaded the needle on the little space that I have, and I just and the thing is, I'm not Randy Orton. I'm like 7 years old at this stage. Probably older because it's Randy Orton. So I'm like maybe 8, 9.
Yeah.
And like I thread the needle and I do it, and like Orton just he doesn't really like grab people. He just kind of like places their head while he does this and then drops. I grabbed the fuck out of my brother's head and I took him with me. I just like yoinked him.
You're taking him with you. He's going that way. So yeah, Roddy Strong goes on a run. We get a Super Tower of Doom spot where there's 2 different Tower of Dooms, AOPs on the bottom of each, and somehow Adam Cole is the only one who ends up unscathed.
He's just like,
he's very pleased with himself.
And then AOP gets up.
They chase Cole. Cole gets crotched, and then AOP get a few tables out. Cole starts crawling along the top of the cage, because this is also WWE's like the difference between this and the original WarGames is that the cage is not a covered cage, because in the original WarGames it was covered.
Yeah,
here it's just you can actually crawl along the top, and that's because we need
much like the cage in the main roster as well.
Yeah, we need things to jump off of. That's part of the deal. So Cole's crawling on the top. He's just lying there while a bunch of other things happen. Like Young hits a leaping neck breaker. Killian Dane goes coast to coast with a garbage can on Kyle O'Reilly.
Van Daminator. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Roddy then spots Cole on the top corner.
Yes.
And he makes a beeline straight for his ass.
Please don't die. Please don't die.
They don't, because Roddy superplexes Cole off of the cage onto the rest of the field. They all got up. They did the catch spot.
And again, the reason that camera work is so important is because you cannot see all the people down there until they get hit with them. So you don't know how long they've been standing there for. It's a good thing.
It's a really good thing.
Appreciate these cameramen, people.
It's a really good thing. AOP hits their finisher, the last chapter, to Damo on the middle part of the
the metal grate between the two rings.
Right after that, Wolf and EY hit a back suplex neckbreaker combo, which I believe is their finisher.
It is. I do not know the name, but it's really nice.
I'll tell you. It's great. EY hits a wheelbarrow suplex to Roddy into the cage, and then we get to the finish.
The surprisingly quick finish. Like Eric Young is kind of like going after Cole with a chair. Cole essentially hits a Shining Wizard into the chair, into EY's face, and then pins him. And the Undisputed Era win WarGames and go on to a long stretch of being untouchable in WarGames matches.
Yeah, I think they won 3 straight.
They won 3 straight years.
That's It's
As
so
somebody
fucking
who
crazy.
is an old history nerd like me, like an old wrestling history nerd like me, what was your first reaction when you heard that War Games was back?
What the fuck is that?
You didn't know, you hadn't heard of it
No,
before.
okay, no. At that point, I definitely I'd heard of it, but I don't know if I'd gone back and seen one.
Okay.
I knew War Games because the whole thing with the Elimination Chamber is that they didn't want the Elimination Chamber; they wanted War Games.
Yes.
Um, but Vince like shot down the idea. They wouldn't do it, so they came up with the Elimination Chamber. And then obviously I'd googled what the hell War Games was. So I knew it that way. But actually seeing the match then made me go back and at least watch the Sting Squadron one.
Okay. Yep.
What is that, 92?
Yeah, 1993, somewhere in there.
Yeah, like that famous one. And I was like, good time,
Yeah.
good time, because it was on the network. Because the network was still a thing then.
Oh yeah. God, I missed the network.
It was so easy. I mean,
It
Peacock's
was.
fine,
Peacock's
but
fine.
it's not the same.
It's really not. I had heard of War Games before. I didn't know a lot about it, but again, I went to my older brother and I was like, "Hey, what's War Games? Like, what is this match? Like, what's going on?" And he was just like, "Oh, okay," and just again, like, told me a bunch of things to look up on the network. And I was like, "Okay," looked up. I was like, "This is sick. Like, this is going to be good."
Yeah.
I think that I like they've gone back to the 2 teams model. I think that's the better
Yes.
model, but this was a really
5v5.
fun first one.
Yeah. I respect that the women's one was 4v4 because honestly, it already felt like Becky getting in there was already felt kind of shoehorned.
Mhm.
Shotzi was in there, which also felt kind of like, damn, they just don't have the numbers on the babyface side. But no, it's. I thought that the main event, the men's match from last night, was a very, very good match. I think as a match, like just the work being done, probably better than last year's. I think last
Yeah,
year's is better because of the story that was told. Obviously, that's wrestling cinema. That's the peak
it's
for
true.
the Bloodline story. But still, it was a good match. War Games has always been. I think since it's come back, they haven't really had a dud.
No, I
They've had some
can't
good
think of
ones.
a dud.
It's another thing is they always put the good people in it.
Yeah,
Like you'll have
you
one or
gotta be
two people
good to be
maybe.
in the War Games match.
Yeah, like they can't throw someone in there who's not that. Like Shotzi is fine. Like
Yeah,
she
that's all
she
right.
thrived because it's chaotic and that's just her whole deal. All she had to do was kind of just throw herself and weapons and all that jazz. But like, you know, the crutch of a War Games match is always the workers. Like
Yeah,
you throw people in there who know what they're doing, and then they piece together that in between bit, and hopefully, if someone who's a little greener comes through at any point, you're like, they're kind of at least masked by their environment. It's also
yeah,
it's the great equalizer because it's just a big old cage match.
yeah. And cage matches are fun, and it leads to fun spots. Everyone should go back and watch this match. We found it on Facebook, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But if you have Peacock, if you have the network, if you have the ability to Google some things, you can easily go find this match. We'll put in the link we use. We'll put in the description of the video right down here. Also, while you're down there, hit subscribe, hit like, do all that fun stuff. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Crossbody of Work. All the links for all that also down there as well. This is a great time. I'd love to go back and watch old War Games matches. Old. It's fucking 6 years old. Like
Yeah,
it's not that
literally.
old. But the landscape of wrestling is entirely different than it was 6 years ago. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's crazy how much things change. We're going to be back soon with another mini-sode, but thanks for joining us this week as we talked about the old 2017 NXT War Games. We'll be back soon with another one of these mini-sodes. We'll talk to you then.
War Games.